Welcome back to Z Videos. In part 1, we uncovered some of the most infamous instances of celebrity infidelity. But the scandals don't stop there. In this video, we'll be exploring even more cases of stars who strayed from their partners. From shocking affairs to secret love children, get ready for part 2 of our series on celebrities who cheated on their girlfriends. 1. Mario Lopez. Mario Lopez cheated on his fiancée, Ali Landry, during his bachelor party in 2004. The couple was married for 2 weeks before Landry found out and confronted Lopez. The Saved by the Bell alum later told the Daily Mail, "I figured at that point it was easier to ask for forgiveness. It's my bachelor party, we were going to have a good time. I was wrong for obviously lying, and I shouldn't have been in that position. I dealt with all this drama, and then at that point, I finally got the balls to say, hey, listen, I'm not ready for this, I'm sorry." 2. Usher. Following a very messy and public split in 2009, rumors swirled that Usher and then-wife Tamika Foster's marriage had failed due to infidelity on his part. In the following months, as they went through a contentious custody battle, though, Usher seemed to remain respectful and neutral toward his ex, leading fans to wonder what really happened behind closed doors. They got to find out, at least in small part, in 2012, the first time Usher publicly addressed cheating rumors. On Oprah's Next Chapter, Oprah asked him directly if he'd been unfaithful to Foster. "Towards the end of our marriage, I found myself lost, and I just wanted out," he said, adding, "No, I was faithful at heart, but not faithful all the way. Even having a conversation with another woman, about matters of your relationship or emotions is, in my opinion, not being faithful." He also admitted that he had sexual relationships with other women when he and Foster were separated. 3. Jack Nicholson. Jack Nicholson and Angelica Houston split in 1989 after Houston found out Nicholson had gotten another woman pregnant. Years later, the shining actor spoke about his infidelity to Parade magazine. "I was in a wonderful relationship with Angelica," Nicholson said. "It was as good as it gets. I immediately told her what was up and she made the decision for us." He recalled Angelica's first response was, "You have to support this woman." Her second response was to come down to my job and beat the hell out of me. "She really beat me up, I tell you. Angelica can punch." In a rather gross take, Nicholson concluded, "I'm such a wag. I'm a scamp. I don't deny it. I like myself. I grew up in a beauty parlor my family ran, so I'm used to getting along with ladies. I prefer their company for the most part. I was pampered from the very beginning." 4. Ethan Hawke. Ethan Hawke and Uma Thurman were that super cool 90s couple everyone wanted to be like until they weren't. In 2003, around the same time Halle Berry and Eric Benet split due to Benet's infidelity, Thurman and Hawke separated. The catalyst? He'd reportedly strayed with the nanny, and possibly also with Canadian model Jen Perzo on the set of Taking Lives. Years later, in 2012, he alluded to the mistakes he'd made in their marriage, telling The Guardian, "Nothing teaches you like getting leveled. And I got leveled in my early 30s. Nothing went exactly the way I thought it would. Wait a second, love isn't real and, holy shit, I put all this energy into not making the same mistake my parents did, and I just reenacted them all. I thought I was so much smarter than everybody else, and I'm not." 5. Billy Crudup. Okay, so admittedly, Crudup hasn't really done a lot of talking about stepping out in 2003 on his then pregnant girlfriend of 8 years, Mary Louise Parker. However, the two women involved in this situation have. In 2015, Claire Danes, the woman Crudup left Parker for, opened up to Howard Stern about the difficult predicament, saying, "I was just in love with him, and I needed to explore that, and I was 24. I didn't quite know what the consequences would be." And in her 2015 memoir, Dear Mr. You, Parker indirectly referenced Crudup's betrayal. In the book, she recalls a heated conversation, obviously fueled by emotion, that she'd had with a cab driver. "I am alone. Look, see, I am pregnant and alone. It hurts to even breathe," she recounts, telling the stranger. "I'm trying to get through it, but I'm by myself every night and every morning and nothing helps." 6. Woody Allen. Woody Allen famously and nauseatingly cheated on Mia Farrow, his wife at the time, with her adopted daughter, Suni Previn. Allen eventually went on to marry Previn and later told NPR, "The heart wants what it wants. There's no logic to those things. You meet someone and you fall in love and that's that." 7. Tiger Woods. In 2009, Tiger Woods was a household name. A globally known golfer, he was the pinnacle of the sport. He was also married to model Ellen Nordegren, and the two had 2 children together. What he'd soon become known for, though, was crashing his Escalade into a tree in his front yard the morning after Thanksgiving, and soon after, for being exposed as a serial cheater. He ducked under the radar for a few months before resurfacing with a live press conference in February 2010 to apologize for his behavior. "I felt I had worked hard my entire life and deserved to enjoy all the temptations around me. I felt I was entitled. Thanks to money and fame, I didn't have to go far to find them," he said, revealing he'd spent 45 days in inpatient treatment. "I was unfaithful. I had affairs. I cheated. What I did is not acceptable, and I am the only person to blame." If you like the video so far, please hit the like and subscribe button for more. 8. David Letterman. Sometimes you see a scandal coming from a mile away. Others totally blindside you. Such was the case with longtime former Late Show host David Letterman, who, in 2008, found himself in an uncomfortable situation, publicly airing his private matters after Robert Joe Halderman, CBS News producer and the boyfriend of Letterman's longtime assistant Stephanie Burkett, tried to extort $2 million from the TV personality. Halderman had discovered Letterman and Burkett were involved in an ongoing affair, but, as the world would soon find out, that wasn't Letterman's only indiscretion. "I have had sex with women who work for me," he confessed in a now infamous on-air moment, apologizing to wife Regina Lasco, who had been horribly hurt by my behavior. 9. Nick Young. When Iggy Azalea was engaged to NBA player Nick Young, a prank war video filmed by fellow LA Laker D'Angelo Russell surfaced in which Young admitted he had cheated on the rapper. Afterward, Young claimed it was false, and Azalea believed him. Soon after, Azalea tweeted that she had broken up with the basketball player because she caught him on a security camera bringing girls into their home. Shortly after that, it came up that Young had gotten his ex-girlfriend pregnant, and the baby was definitely conceived while he was with Azalea. 10. David Boreanaz. For die-hard Bones fans, David Boreanaz will always be lovable FBI Special Agent Seeley Booth. So, it was hard to wrap our heads around what he revealed to people in 2010. "I haven't been faithful to my wife," he confessed, saying of his then 9-year marriage to Jamie Bergman, "Our marriage has been tainted with my infidelities. I was irresponsible." Although the pair had been dealing with the matter privately for a year by that point, they felt compelled to come forward following an extortion attempt. "I was associated with a woman who I was involved with and had a relationship with. She asked for money," the Bones actor revealed, although declining to name her. "I felt as though I was being blackmailed or there was some sort of extortion," he said, elaborating that the woman was asking for 6 figures and would threaten to go to the media if we didn't pay. For her part, Bergman insisted the marriage was in trouble long before any mistresses entered the picture. "As much as David should have never gone outside of the marriage, there was neglect on my part," she said during their joint interview. "It took a crisis, it took infidelity to get us off our asses and work for what we want." 11. Eric Benet. Back in the early 2000s, Eric Benet's life seemed to be going well on the surface. He was a successful singer-songwriter, and he was married to one of Hollywood's hottest actresses, Halle Berry. But by 2002, it all imploded when Benet was ousted for being unfaithful to Berry numerous times. After checking into a 35-day sex addict rehab program, he and Berry tried to course-correct their marriage, but it was too late. She announced they were separating the following year. And in a 2005 interview with People, Benet finally addressed his infidelities, insisting he didn't go as far as people assumed. "We all know I cheated. It was out there. It's a betrayal," he said. "But I never did have sexual intercourse while I was with Halle. Going into rehab was presented to me by her mother that in order for the marriage to have a shot, this is what you need to do. But no, I'm not a sex addict. I wanted to save my marriage and do anything necessary to do that." 12. Arnold Schwarzenegger. The rest of the world wasn't privy to the intimate details at the time, but during his tenure as governor of California, Arnold Schwarzenegger's wife of 25 years, Maria Shriver, was holding on to a major suspicion that he'd fathered a love child with their housekeeper Mildred. So, the minute his time in office was over, Shriver called a couples counseling session to confront her husband. "I told the therapist, it's true," Schwarzenegger recounted, admitting that he immediately began begging for Shriver's forgiveness by saying he screwed up, that she was the perfect wife and that he was still turned on by her. Spoiler alert, his pleas didn't work. In May 2011, the couple split and, later that month, Schwarzenegger came clean to the world about his now 22-year-old look-alike illegitimate son, Joseph Baena. 13. Ben Affleck. As adorable as they look together, we don't think Ben Affleck and Jennifer Garner were ever meant to be. He obviously benefited from her as a grounding force in his life, and they have 3 awesome kids together, but he clearly wasn't ever really settled in the relationship. He reportedly cheated with the nanny. Jen said she didn't find out about it until after they had already decided to divorce, though the alleged affair did occur before they made the decision. 14. Brad Pitt. Brad Pitt and Jennifer Aniston were a Hollywood dream couple, but their fairy tale romance came to a screeching halt when they they decided to divorce after 7 years together. It came out after the fact that he and Angelina Jolie fell in love while Brad was still married to Jennifer. Of course, Brangelina ended up being quite ill-fated as well. And there you have it, folks, more shocking cases of celebrity cheating. We hope you enjoyed this video and learned something new. Make sure to hit the like button and leave a comment below with your thoughts on the topic. Don't forget to subscribe to Z Videos for more celebrity news and gossip.